Well, in today's video, I wanted to pause a little bit around plants that are blooming today and show them to you, share their beauty with you. There are lots of plants that are blooming, looking gorgeous in the garden today, and I wanted to focus on those plants and show them to you, maybe give you some ideas for things you can add to your garden that will bloom around this time. So just to caveat this video, plants blooming in my zone will be very different from where you are, so always check in with the zone that you're in, plants, what your weather is like, what your growing conditions are like, and what your microclimate is, because plants can do different things in different places. For a lot of people, these would bloom very early on, probably in April, but for us, these azaleas and rhododendrons are just about blooming. So I just wanted to point that out. I garden in Toronto in zone 6. Sometimes it can be 5, so it depends on our weather as well. We had a really mild winter this year, so a lot of the plants have done well, and I just wanted to share this video with you and show you what was blooming in my garden today. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas, and if anything, share the beauty of what the garden is bringing to me today. So the very first plant here is a beautiful rhododendron. It is blooming in this gorgeous cherry apple color. I think it's a red hot azalea or rhododendron, and it is beautiful. It's actually a very pretty rhododendron. It has a really nice presence with its delicate leaves, and also what this one, after it's done blooming, it's going to stay these beautiful dainty foliage is going to stay, and it stays evergreen throughout the winter. At least it did for me here. And the leaves turn a nice burgundy color in the fall, so they have a really nice kind of fall color as well. So it has multiple seasons of interest, and it's a really nice small rhododendron to tuck into your garden space. So they come in all kinds of sizes, but this one I think gets about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So amazing rhododendron. It's loaded with blooms, and I think it's really happy in this spot. So it's really showing a lot of blooms this year, and it's really gorgeous. So this is the first shrub that's blooming in my garden today, and let's walk over and show you something else now. There is another beauty that has just starting to open up in my garden. So this is the bloomerang reblooming lilac, and it's really pretty. I just planted this one last year. Actually, it was in a different spot, and I moved it in this location in the spring, and it's taken to its new spot and it's starting to bloom, which is always a good sign. And it's not too big right now. It's about, I would say, 3 feet tall, but it is gorgeous. It's full of blooms, and this is a variety of proven winners that reblooms throughout the summer. So once it's done, this set of blooms, I can trim it back, and it should hopefully give me a new set of blooms. Probably not as prolific as the first flush, but it's regardless really beautiful. It adds a lovely color and scent to the garden, and it's just a really nice, actually it's a very pretty looking plant. I mean, it's not a scraggly looking lavender. It's really lilac, not lavender. It's not you know, some lilacs can look very like leggy, but this one is nice and full, and it's really beautiful. It's got really delicate blooms, and it's really looking pretty and blooming really nice in the garden right now, and adding this fresh pop of color. And I can't wait for my roses to bloom alongside it. So this is the second shrub that's blooming today in my garden, and it's really gorgeous. I have a few others in the backyard, and I can walk over and show you what those are looking like as well. Before I go into the backyard, I just wanted to show you this beautiful geranium roseanne, which is starting to bloom right now. It is gorgeous, lots of pollinators on it, and this is just going to keep blooming all summer. I have several of these dotted around in my gardens, and I absolutely love them. The other thing that's getting ready to bloom is this blue ice amsonia. As you can see, it has its beautiful buds, which I'm excited. It's going to open up next, which is awesome. And I do also have some Jacob's ladder in the back, which is also starting to bloom. I don't know if you can see the dainty blue blooms. Those are Jacob's ladder, and they are also very stunning in the garden. And here is another catmint that's blooming there. And there are some yellow iris here, which should open up in my next, by the time I post my next tour video. Candy tuft, the white one, is still blooming here in the backyard. I have some dieback on it, which I'm not sure why, but I will come and clean that up, and I think it should flush back new growth pretty quickly. So it is also a very gorgeous, low growing, ground cover type perennial. Just gorgeous, blooms early in the spring, and it's still blooming for me. Really, really pretty. Let's quickly see what's blooming here in the shade garden. I think I have a lot of columbine that is starting to come into its bloom right now, and these are the fern leaf bleeding hearts, the white ones. They're still blooming, and they're super, super gorgeous and pretty. And I actually wanted to show you this columbine, which is blooming, and it's absolutely pretty. I love the colors on this one. Isn't that such a beautiful flower? I just love this flower very much. It kind of looks really, really dainty and pretty in the garden. I'm going to give you another view of it from here. It's super gorgeous, and it's looking awesome. And this is catchfly. This is the variegated variety, and this has these beautiful pink blooms, and it's actually doing really well in the shade. I wasn't sure how it was going to do in the shade, but it has lots of buds. It's almost like a geranium in the shade. I think it's from the rose campion family, so it is pretty hardy and it's doing really well. This is my very first experience with this plant, and I bought about 4 or 5 plants last fall, and they have really spread, and they are looking really, really gorgeous. They've created this beautiful mound here, which looks absolutely stunning. And I also have a lot of ajuga that is starting to bloom now, so that's also looking really pretty in the garden. And I just wanted to walk over and show you my big root geranium is blooming everywhere, but I wanted to give you a view of this here. This is super gorgeous. It's looking really, really pretty in the garden. I love the color on this. This one doesn't rebloom. It will just bloom once in the spring, but I love it every time it blooms. And it's such an easy ground cover to just, you know, remove and place. I've placed it in many areas of my garden, and I absolutely love how valuable this is to just cover the ground and provide shade to the roots of many plants, and living mulch as well. What else is blooming here? So I have these bachelor's buttons. They always bloom at this time, and they are absolutely stunning. They look beautiful. I think they also come in other colors. There's purple and blues, and then there's also pinks. But I love this two-tone color that I have. It's white and purple, and it's really, really gorgeous. I have 2 plants. I have one here as well, which is really, really pretty. And I do have some lilacs blooming here. Let me show them to you. I don't know the name of this lilac, but it is a French lilac. And it is just got the most heaviest blooms and smells heavenly. And it's literally just falling over from all of the weight of these blooms. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Just lovely. And yeah, those are blooming there, as well as alliums everywhere are putting on their show after the daffodils and the tulips. And I just love the pops of color the purple offers in the garden. It's just absolutely stunning. I have more alliums here, which are looking stunning as well. I just love how they look in the sun, and they catch the sun, and they look really, really pretty. Garden, the black stalking meadow rue is still blooming, and this is something I recently planted, so it's doing really, really well. The daffodils are done. I mean, I need to come and cut the flower stems, but they are almost done. So hopefully the incredible hydrangeas will now take over, and it'll fill in really nicely there. So let me also show you what's happening here. More alliums blooming. I do have these dwarf larkspur that are blooming, as well as there are lots of blanket flowers here which will start blooming soon. as well. In this garden here, actually there is more lilac blooming here. So this is again another bloomerang lilac. Love how it looks with this allium, as well as these, I don't know if the sun can catch the color, but those are some really pretty pink tulips that are still blooming. And this is a My Monet Vigila standard that I added here. I used to have a rose tree here which didn't survive the winter. It just kind of, I should have protected it. I should have known better what to do with it, but I didn't. So I lost that rose tree, but I've added this Vigila here. Hopefully this will be more long term and it's more hardy and it's going to be okay in this spot. So this is really, really pretty. I love how these colors look and how it blooms. And even when it's done blooming, this variegated foliage here will be a nice addition to this garden. So in here again, I have more lilacs blooming. This is another bloomerang dark purple which is blooming. Yeah, so this garden is looking really, really nice as well. Let me show you some of my iris that are blooming. So this is a beautiful purple iris that a friend of mine gave me 3 years ago when I first started planting in this backyard. And this iris has really, really, it's like an iris that I'm super grateful for, because when you first start your gardening and your plant journey, it's the plants that you get from people that motivate you are the most special to you. And this is one of those iris which I think I'll always have in my garden to remember my good friend Ingrid. And yeah, I mean, it's really, really pretty and gorgeous. I love the color on this. So last year I divided this. I moved some here. I have some here in the back as well. And it is just stunning. So that's it. I just wanted to come out here today and share with you some of the new blooms in the garden. Show them to you. There's more columbine here. Show these beautiful, stunning blooms to you. And I think by the time I post my next tour video, a lot more should be in bloom in this garden, and I can walk around and show you what's happening. And maybe we'll do a little bit more of a detailed, maybe front yard and backyard. I can break it up and show you different things. So that's about it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video about what's blooming in my garden today. And if you've liked this video, please do hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, I'm welcoming you to my gardening community. And I hope you will subscribe and join me for subsequent videos. There's lots of videos in the past where you can see what I've been doing in my garden, and some recommendations of plants and other things that might be useful if you're starting out your own garden and you garden in Toronto and there are things that you want to see what grows in the zone. So again, I am grateful for all of you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video very soon. Thank you again for watching.